Do y'all see live on YouTube? Y'all see that little thing pop up?
I'm looking for it.
Well, it's
YouTube up now.
Yeah, I see it.
Give me a progress bar. Let's see.
I see the icon. I don't see the video yet.
Oh, I see that. I was looking on YouTube.
There we go. So it follows whether I have gallery or speaker view on. Very nice. Nice. All right, we are officially live.
Live, real.
Two people watching.
I don't see it.
Use notifications sent out.
Yeah, I'm looking on the old YouTubes here to see.
Now I see it.
Send this link over here to Slack. We are live.
Show me the lives. Ooh, okay.
All right. Ooh, we're up to 6.
Hey.
Man, if we can get this up to 10, oh, we got 8. Shoot.
Go to 15.
10. All right, we're up to 10.
Blowing the roof off.
Man, we got some
We're crushing
traction
it right now. Oh man.
Oh, we got action in the chat. We got people coming up in the chat. We got Jared Olson tuning in. We got Nicole Hambrick. We got Tanner's
Dietz in here.
Shoot.
That's my cuz.
Everybody post where you're watching from. Got 20. Oh shoot, we got 20.
Oh.
I'm gonna report. I will report. Chat. Do not post anything inappropriate. Do not post anything inappropriate.
Nothing appropriate.
Jessica Perrette, hello. Our first non-staff viewer. Welcome. Again, we got 24 people tuning in. Oh, 28 people. David Woowert, Winston-Salem. Shoot.
What's up, David?
We're a
we were just there.
statewide broadcast.
Winston-Salem.
Isaiah Little Music, Lucas. Okay, now we got names that are not staff members. I feel like we're real now, real time.
The Office. Kayla.
Watching The Office or watching from The Office, very distinct difference.
You could do
Both are great. Watching The Office at The Office is.
We got GTA. We're international. We're
Look at
real.
that.
It's
We
good.
did it.
We're international. All right, guys, that's it. We've had a blast. We'll see you guys next week. Oh, cool. Well, thank you guys. If you've tuned in already, thank you guys for joining us. This is the first episode. Oh, I just got an email from YouTube that we're live. Great. Amazing. This is our first Tech Tuesday. If you're tuning in, thank you guys so much for watching. We are obviously all quarantined to our house or wherever Chris Chavis is. I don't know what that is. But we're practicing social distancing, staying at home. We are working from home, but of course we're all, focused on continuing to reach people through our roles here at the church. But we figured while we've got some downtime in our quarantine lunch hour, and while we know probably a few of you guys are stuck at home, we figured we would do this thing called Tech Tuesday. So this is our first episode. And in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be diving into some topics really to help honestly prepare us for when we're able to go back to corporate gatherings and meet again. Obviously, our production teams are going to need to hit the ground running. But in the meantime, we want to invest in you guys and invest in your knowledge and your education. So we're going to be using this segment every Tuesday for really the foreseeable future. Don't know how long it's going to last, probably until we're not quarantined anymore. Maybe we'll even do it past that. But in the next couple of weeks, we'll really start diving into some technical topics. But I thought it would be awesome to just get the whole central AVL Tech team together on a Zoom call and just let you guys get to know more about us, kind of invite you into our culture. I know a lot of you, for those of you that are on our production teams on the weekends, you know us through Slack. You probably have only seen our texts. You might never seen our picture other than profile picture. So we wanted to let you guys get to know us a little bit better. And for those of you that aren't on our production teams that are watching, we just want to say you guys are a part of our family too. Thank you guys for, we know a lot of people are able to kind of look up to us in the production world. And we want to say thank you guys for being here. And if you guys, we want to make sure you feel like you're part of our family too in this season. I know a lot of people are out there really trying to figure out how to do church in this season, and leaning on technical capabilities a lot. So I wanted to offer up too, if there's anything that we can pray for you about or help you with, you're welcome to email. We have an email address, production@elevationchurch.org. Feel free to reach out. We would love to help as much as we can. Just like I said, to be able to pray for you, or whatever small things we can do to just help you guys. Reach out. Feel free to keep in touch. I do want to thank today's sponsor, Zoom. Of course, everyone is sponsored by Zoom right now. You see there, get a nice little logo pushing the brand right in the corner of our stream, but that's okay. We couldn't do church without them right now, honestly. So here's what we're going to do today. Today, we're going to go around and we're going to just introduce everybody. We're going to have everybody talk about their role on staff, how long they've been. And then whenever everybody's introduced themselves, we're going to do Ask Us Anything. So in the chat, there's some rock on horns, or I love you, or fire emojis in the chat, just so we know you're there. And you can start posting some questions, and we'll start to see those. And if you ask something way too technical, you're probably not going to get a very technical answer, honestly, because we don't want to go off on too many tangents. But feel free to ask us anything about life, church, technology, whatever it is. Cool. So let's go around. I'm just going to go in order from top left to bottom right. And we'll start with Mr. Matt Hemley. Matt Hemley, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. So Matt, here's what we're going to do. Tell us what you do on staff, how long you've been on staff, where are you from, what was your first experience with elevation, and then what Enneagram number. We're doing the 5. So role on staff, how long you've been on staff, where are you from, your first experience with elevation, what Enneagram number you are.
So my name's Matt. What I do on staff.
I already did that. That's not part
I know.
You don't have to do.
I took notes, and that was the first part, was introduce yourself. So what I do on staff is I'm on, obviously, the Central AVL team, but I oversee all of our lighting systems for our campuses. So programming, maintaining, designing like non-perm sets, and honestly, just doing a lot of training, equipping our campus LDs with what they need to make church happen and make it look great. I came on staff in November of 2017. So I've been on staff a couple of years now. It's been great. I'm not from Charlotte. I'm from Illinois, a town called Peoria. And my wife and I moved down to Charlotte in 2017, but from Illinois. My first experience with elevation was in 2011. Pastor Stevens spoke at what is called the Global Leadership Summit, and the church that I worked for, we brought in the simulcast, and I was sitting behind a lighting console, and he got up, and by the end of his sermon, I had looked up elevation, and just instantly fell in love with the church, and honestly, ever since, I've just been following it, and thankful to be a part of it now. My Enneagram, I think when I tested, I was a 4, but I'm definitely a 5 wing 6, according to my wife, and all of the things she sends me on Instagram about 5s. So I think I'm a 5 wing 6 for sure.
What is the 5? I know what the 6 is.
Don't ask me. I have no clue. I just tell people I'm a 5 wing 6, and most of the time they're like, "Oh yeah, totally." I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh yeah, and I'm like a 5. I'm like an 8 wing 4.
Yeah, I don't mess with the Enneagram too much, but
INT wing 2.
Huh?
Nothing. Okay. I have a would you rather for you, Matt.
Oh, buddy, hit me with it.
I've got a new one for everybody, so this will be good. So Matt, would you rather start every worship experience off with 100 burpees, or by getting punched in the face by Wade 10 times?
Oh, punched in the face by Wade 10 times,
You
100%.
said that so quickly.
Anything, 100 burpees? Are you kidding me? I'd die after like 5.
What if it was
That worship experience wouldn't happen. Let's just say that.
How would your doing burpees not make the worship experience happen?
Well, you said before the worship experience happened, I have to do 100 burpees. I wouldn't get to 100.
Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Like if the worship experience was dependent on, I don't think that's the scenario, but yeah, got it.
Like if I had to operate lights before the worship experience, that worship experience would be dark.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah,
That's what I'm getting at.
I got it. All right, good to know you, Matthew. Up next, we got Jay Bash, Justin Bayshore.
How's it going?
Good mic setup. Oh, by the way, everybody show your mic setup.
Yeah.
That's the last question. What microphone do you have that you're using?
I'm using a Super 55.
Got that Super 55 Live. I'm using a Rode NTG1 shotgun mic just out of frame. We're all just a little bit fancy because we can't do things simple, except for Kimmery, broadcast technical director. We'll get to him in a little bit, using this wired earbuds. Be poor? Come on. Wired earbuds. My gosh.
I'm just using the MacBook mic because Apple computers are good. Right, Matt?
Absolutely not.
Hey, you can hear me, right?
I can. That's true. Anyway, Jay Bash, get back to you. Jay Bash, do you need me to go back to the questions?
No, I think I got them.
All right.
I think I got all 5. So my name is Justin, as Andy said. I know that was one of the questions, but I just feel like I have to say that. But I am a part of the tech team, obviously, and my official title is AVL Tech. What I do mostly is I handle a lot of our eKids stuff. So anytime we implement any new eKids gear on any of our campuses, I get to be a part of the team. And by team, I mean me and when Nate helps.
What's your title?
Say it.
My faux title is eKids Integrator for Elevation Church. On top of that,
Right.
I also handle our central gear stock. So we have a little area set up where we keep backups for everything. And I get to just sort of manage that and make sure we have spares of everything that we need. And if any of the guys need a specific piece of gear, they, hey, do we have this? Where is it at? Where can we find it? And then I help with repairs. So, if a mic goes down or projector lens goes down, I talk to companies and just make sure that all the information is coming through one person instead of each individual campus just sending information and it getting really confusing. I'm from Reading, Pennsylvania. It's kind of thug life out there.
Thug life?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's pretty
Go
thug
on.
life. Yeah, it's pretty hood.
Okay.
That's the best way to put it. If you know, you know. My first connection with Elevation was, I believe it was 2013 or 2012. I can't remember it now. But my youth pastor ended up doing the Crash the Chatterbox series and claiming it as his own. And so I was
as most youth pastors do.
Yeah, I was like, this is too good to be true. Like, he's a good communicator, but this is too good of content. So after some short digging, found Elevation Church. And then from that point on, just really stayed connected to what was going on, and obviously Elevation Worship and all of that. And my Enneagram, so I've taken it a couple of times. I've gotten 2 wing 1, and I've also gotten 8. So based off of that, I would probably assume that I'm a not so healthy 2 who goes to 8 in unhealth. So that's my Enneagram.
Nice. What's the 8 is the angry kind, the mean
Yeah.
ones. Gotcha.
If you know, you're an 8. If you're an 8.
If you know, you know. And all right, Justin. This one's pretty. This one's not Elevation specific.
Okay.
This one is: would you rather always get caught in traffic or always have really bad internet?
Oh, I'll take bad internet. I hate sitting in traffic. That's what it makes me so frustrated. Like, I can't sit in traffic for more than 5 minutes without losing it.
Man, well, this wouldn't go very well if you had bad internet. So
You do have Sprint. and we found out that was bad internet yesterday. on our
Yeah,
way back from
So you
Winston.
already have. So you're already living. Half
Yeah, I'm already living in bad internet, so it doesn't really matter.
This Zoom call brought to you by T-Mobile. All right, Jay Bash, that's it. Up next, we got Zach Kimry. He's in the middle row, left side on YouTube. Zach,
Yo,
do you have the 5? You know the
No.
5?
I forgot.
All right, I'll just step through them one at a time for you.
Perfect.
What do you do on staff, Zach?
I just do all the admin work for Valentine.
You mainly admin,
Yeah.
do admin stuff like
Yeah.
spreadsheets and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff.
That's it.
For Valentine, very nice, very nice.
Yep.
How long you been on staff, Zach?
5 years, 2015.
Nice. And where are you originally from? I know
Right
this.
here. Right here in Albemarle.
Well, right here being Albemarle.
That's right.
Fun fact, Zach and I grew up not too far from each other, honestly. He grew up in Albemarle. I grew up in Locust, just down 2427. So that's fun facts. And what was your first experience with Elevation, Zach?
When I worked at the company before I came on staff at Elevation, we did the very first Elevation Uptown Christmas experience at Belk Theater in 2000 and I believe 7. So
And
been involved in some form for a long time.
fun fact, since I didn't go over mine, but my first experience was, and that sounds like Tucker, his kid,
Tuck's over
making
there.
coverage. He wants to be on the interview too. But my first experience with Elevation was actually at Uptown Christmas it was my second experience, but in Belk in 2009. So 2 years after they started doing that. And I came just to hang out backstage, and Zach actually put me to work running the media server because
you bailed me out because we didn't know how to run it, and it was dying.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I got here. Long story short. And then Zach, what Enneagram are you?
I'm an 8-wing 8.
You're a 16.
There you go.
Twice as much 8 as anybody can handle. And then would you rather trip and fall every time someone says Elevation, or have to clap for 1 minute every time someone says your name? I can just picture you in a meeting having to clap for 1 minute every time somebody says your name and you're just pissed off.
I feel like trip and fall though.
Every time somebody says Elevation.
Yeah, I would probably go with that one.
Trip and fall.
Yeah.
I was trying to find the video. I'll try to find it.
Oh yeah. Justin probably has it. The one of me going up the steps.
Yeah, if somebody could pull that up and maybe screen share that one.
I'll have to do some digging, but I might be able.
I think it's
All
on
right,
your
see what you
Instagram.
can- see what
It's
you can find.
somewhere.
Up next, we got Chris Chavis. Chris, how you doing? You're muted.
There we go. Sorry.
There you go.
Spacebar. See,
We're still learning how to use Zoom. We're
earlier
still,
with
we're still
spacebar.
learning.
But no, I'm good. I'm Chris. I was born and raised here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've been on staff for a little over 3 years now. My first experience though with the church was 2015. We showed up, we shied away from church for a while and then kind of wanted to get back into it. Showed up January and there was no service. And I was like, what in the world is happening? Like, why is church closed on a Sunday? And some volunteers were out there though. And we're just like, hey, come back next week. It's going to be great. So my family and I were like, all right, cool. Came back. And the fact that somebody walked out to my car and like greeted my family and treated me like I was family, even though they didn't know me, that was the thing where it's like, okay, cool. I can get on board with this. So just kind of came in and Chet Pete was actually on the welcome team and he badgered me until I started volunteering, jumped in production, and I fell in love with it. So yeah.
That's awesome. And what Enneagram number are you?
Oh, I am I'm a 6-wing 7. So I'm a counterphobic 6-wing 7.
All right. Ooh, getting into the depths of the Enneagram with the counterphobic, the phobic. Oh, I don't want to talk about that. And all right, Chris, if you could would you rather only live off the mints in the bathroom for a month or sleep in the baptism tank for 2 months?
Oh, dude, baptism tank.
Sleep in the baptism tank?
Hands down.
What if it's full of water?
Easily. Then I get to sleep in a pool.
Ugh, that's I'd probably do the mints. Might lose some weight or something.
No, I gotta eat.
Old David Woowert.
Yeah, what do you do?
What do you do?
Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
you missed one.
I am a AVL Tech, like Bayshore. So I help him out with just troubleshooting campuses. My big thing, I like to focus on video more. That's what I'm more comfortable with. So like switcher configuration, routing, things like that. Also with like Resolume, I'll jump in. You'll probably see me on the weekend jump in a lot with Resolume troubleshooting. But yeah, video's always been in my background, something that I've always kind of had a bend towards. So that's typically what I do. And then help with configuring fly packs and going from there. So I think that's the best part of my job, is getting to hands-on with the gear, figure out how it works, why it works that way. So
nice. And just real quick, we got this. This is Zach Kimmery living his his would you rather. So that's there for you. Oh man, what a blessing. Up next, we got Joseph Lack. Joe Lack, how are you?
Howdy.
All right, Joe, we got.
Did you skip Nate though?
No, he's not in. Oh shoot, I'm in a different order.
Oh,
my Zoom window literally disappeared. It's fine, guys. We got this. We're figuring it out. There it is. Okay. No, Nate's at the bottom of my screen.
Oh, it's all different. I'm looking at the YouTube stream, and he's.
Oh, it is different. All right, we'll go with Nate then. Go with Nate next.
The order can't break the flow. Signal flow.
Can't break the flow.
Source
Flip the flow.
Flip the flow. All right, Nate. What do you do on staff? Everybody, this is Nate Dietz. Nate, what do you do on staff?
I am the AVL project manager for the team. So what does that mean? It means a lot of things. I guess easiest to say would be keep the wheels rolling, keep everything moving forward for the team. We obviously always have a lot going on all the time. But specifically, I get to help out with integration, whether that's integrating something new into campuses or doing campus launches. It's probably one of my favorite things to help out with. And I get to help do break, fix, repair for the guys and kind of coordinate the communication for campuses and stuff like that. Nice. And kind of as Kimmery said, I do the admin work, but for our whole entire team.
You actually do admin work.
Yep. I make sure that's all taken care of.
Nat Hernandez says, I know your pain. I'm also a PM. So
yeah,
it's not really there.
It's not really a pain though. I thoroughly enjoy it. And I get to work with all of you guys. So that makes it that much better.
And where are you from?
I am originally from Phoenix, New York. Probably a lot of viewers didn't even know that was a place. But it's outside of Syracuse area. It's where I grew up.
And what was your first experience with elevation?
First experience. I was in college. What year was that? I think 2016. Yeah. But actually Zach Zolo, shout out to Zach Zolo.
IT director.
A lot of you guys know him. He posted the album cover to Here Is in Heaven when it came out.
Nice.
And on Instagram, and I was like, hey man, what is this? And he told me how it was elevation worship, part of the church that he had worked, or at that point he was working for the church. And I listened to it and he was like, yeah, we stream online as well on the weekends. And so that following Sunday I tuned in, and at the time they were still at Blakeney. I didn't know that. I didn't know what Blakeney or Valentine was. Didn't even know that was a word, probably. And so I tuned in and loved it. And from there I started watching online on the weekends when I was in college, and during the time I was on the baseball team. So we would have some guys come over and watch it, and that led to a few visits down to visit the Zolos, and ultimately me moving down and having this opportunity.
Nice. Oh man. Well, I was going to say this too. You were originally part of the EFAM, and now that you're on staff, you actually still get to on the weekend serve to bring the broadcast to the EFAM with the online team. So it's pretty awesome how God brought that full circle.
Yeah, that was one of my big things once I moved down here was just getting involved. And Zolo actually had mentioned how, serving on the online team could be a cool thing because it's right, you're on the other side of the camera, right? So so that was pretty cool. And with my role here, yes, I'm still able to do that on the weekends, and it's one of my favorite things too.
It's awesome. What Enneagram number are you? Do you know?
I am a 1, which I don't even know what that means. I know
that's one of the angry ones, right? I think
I'm pretty sure Pastor is a 1, and I know
it's
Nick
the perfectionist
as well.
Yeah. Jared Olson had a would you rather. Actually, this is amazing. Jared, my would you rather I already had for Nate. Half of it is exactly the same. It says, would you rather throw a green screen that had to stay live for a full minute every worship experience, or preach Easter Sunday?
That just made me have thoughts about CG4 crashing that one weekend. Oh my God.
So that every weekend,
for a full minute, what was the second part of that? I'm sorry.
Or preach Easter Sunday?
Oh, heck no. We're going green screen, baby.
We're going green screen. Mine actually was, would you rather last minute lead worship at a live recording with no talk back, or last minute preach Easter? That was the one that I already had for you.
I think I'm going to have to lead a live recording because I think I know most of the song's lyrics.
Nice. Somebody grab a guitar for Nate. Oh, that's part of it too. You got to play. Just kidding. Okay. Thanks, Nate.
I would just need a big snare, and that's for
you would just play the snare. Amazing. All right. Up next, Joe Lack. Joe, how you doing?
Good. What's with everybody on our team from like Arizona cities that are actually located somewhere else? Phoenix, Peoria. Those are Arizona places, I thought, until I met you guys. There you go.
No, Peoria, Peoria, Illinois was first.
Was it? All I know is there's no like Seattle, Kentucky, so it makes it easy for me.
I think Phoenix, New York was first data as well. Up.
Just
the 13 colonies, right?
That's true. Yep, they were first.
13 colonies.
All right, Joe. Everybody, Joe Lack.
Hi.
AVL Tech Manager. Joe, what's your role on staff? I just said it.
That. So,
what does that mean, though?
Somebody's got to lead this ragtag group of people in some capacity, which for the most part, doing whatever I can to help them do what they do better and be successful. And then just kind of oversee the system and structure side of our team and try to improve it each day of how we support campuses, how we budget, how we take care of tickets that come in, how we organize, trying to be the eyes toward that to make it smooth and efficient if possible.
Nat says you're the boss. Mike Mitchell says you're the cat herder. I don't agree with that, Mike. I hate cats. I think that's very offensive. I'd prefer you not say that, but I'll let this one slide just because I love you, Mike. And Joe, where are you from?
I was born in Seattle, Washington, and then I moved here to come on staff in April of 2012. So this coming, was it Thursday or Saturday? I think it is. Saturday is my 8th anniversary on staff. So 8 years on staff this Saturday.
Very nice. Congratulations.
My first exposure was in early fall of 2011. A friend and I did youth camps together with our church. He did worship, I did tech production stuff. And he sent me a set list that had Give Me Faith and All Things New on it that I'd never heard of Elevation. And so I was like, what is this? And he's like, oh, it's Elevation. I'm like, I don't know what that is. So I YouTubed it, saw the For the Honor album recording. I was doing a little bit of lighting at that time. So I was really drawn into the 150 pars on stage, and was like, "This
Weren't
is
we
awesome."
all?
Yeah, and so I watched all of the videos I could find, got obsessed very quickly with everything about the church. Was watching Code Orange Revival in January 2012, night 7 or 8 when Bishop Jakes was preaching. And like, I just have to figure out how to visit this place and learn from these guys and meet some people. And I was dinking around on the website, found a job posting and was like, well, I guess I could just apply. Might as well. And then about a month and a half later, I was driving across the country.
Nice.
So,
And I actually have a Star Wars Would You Rather. I found this one on the internet. I thought you would enjoy it.
8, by the way. I'm an 8-wing 888 like Zach.
Oh yeah, watching Joe and Zach have a conversation is well, I'm not going to try to come up with an analogy for it, but it's something.
No, but
Tell you what.
if you're going
Yeah.
against me and Joe together, you just might as well go home because you're going to lose.
It's like trying to fight fire with fire.
You ever seen a YouTube video of like alligators with their mouths both open, going at each other like that, trying to rip each other apart? That might be
something like that.
I have.
And I'm an Enneagram 9, just since I didn't get to say that. So I am over there kind of like just in the corner crying, asking mom and dad to stop fighting. So, you can picture some of our office arguments.
Yep.
We don't have many of those though, just so you know. Joe.
This was Zach though, is I met him the day I was interviewing. He was a volunteer at University City helping set up. He was the tech guru, making sure the generator was plugged in correctly. So I don't know if he remembers, but I met him the day I was interviewing. So he was the first of many, many elevation people that I met. So
very nice. All right, Joe, here's your Star Wars Would You Rather. Would you rather have a conversation with Yoda for 10 minutes or punch Jar Jar Binks for an hour?
Ooh, this is one of those would you rathers where you want both. I'd probably do the Yoda thing. I want some knowledge and
have some conversation. Yeah.
So.
The website that I pulled that from, that most people said that they would rather have the conversation with Yoda. I personally would just rather punch Jar Jar for an hour. I'd like to just get some anger out there. I got plenty of other people I could talk to for wisdom, but Jar Jar is definitely, God bless. All right, and last but not least, we got Justin Wiznant, or the Wiz, as Nick Dooley would call him. Justin, how you doing? How you doing?
Great. It's good to be on.
Amazing. Good to have you.
So, Justin, or Wiz, or some people call me Mix Nasty. For
Mix Nast.
That. I am the AVL Integration Director, which is just a really fancy title for saying that I help come up with systems for non-permanents and permanent campuses. So ordering gear, coming up with video routing stuff, trying to figure out the best way to put a campus together. So I work pretty closely with Nate. Like we were putting stuff in spreadsheets, which is not fun. It's always boring.
So what? Spreadsheets are so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's because I'll go ahead and say this. I'm a 1 wing 9, so perfectionist, and I'm also the one that is probably with Andy saying, "Please, mom and dad, stop fighting. I can't take it." So anyways, but yeah, so the 1 in me is like everything has to be perfect, which Nate's a 1 as well. So we're always like trying to make it the best, which can slow the process down a little bit. But yeah, so we're just trying to figure out the best way to or the best gear to use. And my job is kind of to look up new gear, try and figure out what could be cheaper, but it's still good quality for campuses. And then kind of helping or talking with Matt as well and figuring out like how do we, because I don't like lights. I don't do lighting. I let Matt take care of that. So that's kind of my job. So I've already told you my Enneagram. What was the other question? Oh, elevation. When I came to elevation.
Well, where are you from first?
Gastonia, North Carolina.
Gastonia, Gas Town.
So Gas House. And then when first exposure to elevation, was that it?
Yep.
So I actually was pulling it up on a tab because I had to go back and figure out to make sure that I got the sermon title correct, but it was
Nice.
according to this date, August 29th, 2010. And the sermon series was The Invitation, which the name of the sermon was Your Excuses Are Stupid. So I feel like I should go back and rewatch that just because. So yeah, 2010. And I started at the Uptown campus. So shout out, probably he's not on here, but shout out to Larry Hubaka, because that was my first campus pastor.
Huey.
And I would say off of this team, Andy Bentley is the first person I met.
I'm sorry.
And he's probably he's probably the reason why I'm on staff. A little bit because of wanting me to, he's like, hey, if you have any free time, you want to come hang out at Blakeney and do a stage design? And I was like, I don't know what that is, but sure. And Zach probably doesn't remember this, but I remember meeting Zach for the first time at that stage design. And I was like, I'm just going to go in the other direction, because he seemed a little frustrated by the way the stage design was going. And I think that was around Christmas time is when we were doing that, when Andy decided to hang, it was like 100 Mac 101s and some Color Forces vertical. And
was that the chandelier year as well?
I think that was chandelier year as well.
Yeah, it was.
Brian's watching. He'll remember me and Brian at the YMCA stringing aircraft cable across.
Do y'all remember what year that was? Let me see if I can find it.
2012? 12, I think.
Yeah, it was before I was on staff.
Yeah. So yeah, I had met Brian, Zach.
Yeah, here
I
it
already
is.
knew Andy. Yeah, let's show that really quick.
See if I can find a good picture of it. Yeah, that's all right.
But anyways, yeah, so that was my first exposure.
Yeah, there you go.
Probably to the production world.
That was a couple lights. Yeah. We had a few of them.
Look at that Vista screen.
Yeah.
That Vista screen, that external touch screen. We were the.
Is that Vista 1?
We were the.
Oh yeah,
it was. We hadn't upgraded yet.
Man, oh man.
Nerds. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. And somehow you made it after that. You survived.
Yeah, I didn't go back to another stage. Fun fact, I didn't go back to another stage design until I came on staff.
Rightfully so.
So, I think, did I answer all the questions?
What was, yeah, you said your Enneagram number. Yeah, you should see me and Justin trying to have a fight. It's like two passive aggressive people trying to just not offend each other.
Exactly.
Hey, Justin, I just wanted to talk about just something, just kind of thinking, I know it's like a part. I mean, it's fine. It's me a lot. Like, just
be honest with me. Okay. Yeah. Like, that's all.
Okay. Justin, would you rather every movie you watch replaces the lead role with Nicolas Cage, or every song you hear is performed by Nickelback?
It's got to be Nicolas Cage, man.
Nick Cage, my man.
Oh man, it's got to be Nick Cage.
So you're thinking, like, what is your favorite movie?
I mean, so it could actually be pretty comical, because I like a lot of comedies. So, like,
that's
really anything with like Will Ferrell or like
Nicolas Cage is Lloyd Christmas.
I'm just like imagining Interstellar. Like, that's one of my favorite movies, but Nicolas Cage.
Well, okay, let's think about this too. So, like, you could take it two ways. So Dark Knight is like one of my favorite movies. So like, it would either be the Joker, so either Heath Ledger's role, or
I'd like to see Nick Cage as the Joker. Honestly, I think he would. I think he could do good with that.
But then if you go to a funnier movie like The Hangover, like, who would he be in The Hangover? Like Ken Jeong?
That's a good question. I don't know. He'd have to be all of them, I guess.
True.
They'd have to digitally composite. They'd figure it out.
I'd probably not watch that movie again.
Isn't there a tiger in The Hangover?
Yes, there is.
That would also need to be played by Nick Cage.
Yes.
And The Cage by Nick Cage.
But we'd still have Mike Tyson. So.
All right, that's everybody. I think, yeah. I answered a couple questions as we were going through, but I'm Andy. I'm the central production director here, so I help with helping train and develop our production directors at our campuses, and then just helping pull together stuff like this for our production teams, ways that they can get involved and stay connected. So, and I'm an Enneagram 9, like I said. I'm actually born and raised in Charlotte. So I was able to be a part of Elevation because they were just right in my backyard. And like Zach mentioned, Christmas at Belk Theater, I was able to come hang out and just see what they were doing because Zach and his buddy Trey were talking about all this awesome stuff that they were doing, and was connected with them, and just got to be a part of some of those events. And actually, the first one was Christmas at Belk, and then the second one was actually Easter at Time Warner Cable Arena, which this Easter will be 10 years since we did that. And I was able to be a part of both of those events, and then came on as an intern, as a contractor first that spring, and then as an intern fall of the next year, and then on staff December of 2011. So yeah, it's been a fun ride, but that's it. That's the team. That's us. Now ask us anything. What questions do you have? I post them in the chat. I saw one from Paul Lack, relation, Joseph?
Be my younger brother.
Your younger brother. Well, your younger brother would like to know, in what ways are we leveraging our tech volunteers at this time? He says they found it harder to use tech volunteers because we're isolated and a lot of technical roles have fallen to staff. And it's actually a great question, because that's kind of what we're struggling with too and figuring out. I know, and some of our production directors are on the chat right now too, if y'all want to chime in and answer how you guys are kind of getting your teams involved. But I know right now we're running a lot of stuff with staff right now too, kind of pulling volunteer roles and sort of benching them a little bit. But we're right now really trying to find ways like this to resource our volunteers and almost stay active, almost like, I don't know if you guys, for those of you that work out, it's like an active rest. Sort of the approach we're taking with our production volunteers right now is sort of like this active rest style, where they're not serving every weekend, but we're still trying to give them as many resources as we can to learn and ways to stay connected. I know our church as a whole is doing an initiative called Serve Small, where we're just trying to find ways that are just little things that we can do for people that will make an impact in their lives. So, one of our production volunteers actually in Roanoke bought a little snack basket for her mailman and just dropped it off at the mailbox, and some gift cards and stuff. We're trying to find little ways. My e-group has this, we meet in this restaurant on Tuesday mornings that we can't meet in right now, but our waitress, her name's Lisa. She always comes up and says, hey, but we're buying her a Walmart gift card just to cover groceries, little things like that. So for us, it's recognizing that even though we might not be able to serve in the way that we feel gifted right now, that at the end of the day, our church's job is to stay connected with people and serve people. And so however we can do that, it might not be tied to a role. It might look a little different right now, but we're still active and functioning as a church and as a team. So anybody else want to add anything to that? I guess not. Cool. Zoom calls are so awkward and everybody's microphone's off. What do you say, Joe?
That was well said. Nice and really complete.
Matt Gore says, do you guys do stage designs internally or externally? Actually, we do a little bit of both. So we have a couple guys outside that we'll hire in if we have some higher capacity projects going on. And if we need tighter timeline, tighter turnaround, we'll do them internally, but we've been able to kind of do both. I know, Matt, you do some designs as well. You mentioned for permanent portable campuses.
Yeah. So kind of the way it has kind of evolved in working is Valentine's its own sort of entity. So that obviously that's the one that everyone looks at. So there's just a greater focus on what that looks like and how that feels. Not to diminish the other campuses, because those are super important too. But a lot of times, like just the way we've been spinning up campuses, it's just kind of, yeah, like this might look cool and this might look great. But also keeping in mind like load in, and this is mainly for non-permanents, but simplifying load in, making sure that it's as easy as we can, but not sacrificing the impact of the look and what we're going for, and just kind of the standard of excellence that we've set for star lighting in general.
Awesome. I got a question for Justin Wisnant. I'm gonna shoot this one your way. Favorite campus launch and why?
Well, I feel like I should probably. It's difficult. I think my favorite one would probably be Orlando. Only because it's the most recent, and I felt like at that point we kind of had a good system behind what we wanted to use from, so just so everybody knows kind of the way we do it now, and some campuses are not this way. If some people on here may remember that some campuses used to be like 3, 4, 5 racks side stage with a distro, which included like our work box, which has, batteries, all this stuff. So I'd say like Orlando, we finally had it dialed in where it's like everything was in one rack, and the only other rack side stage was we had a work box, but we also had a distro, so power distro. So I felt like that one was, and I wasn't as stressed. Like the first one, Greensboro, was like just trying to figure out a system to make it a little bit more like simplified. And just trying to come up with something different that we hadn't done. So Greensboro was fun from a standpoint of like figuring out a new fly pack design. I feel like everybody's kind of loved it for the most part. There's like some components that we want to change, but Orlando was just kind of like, oh, okay, this one's going to be cool because like we're getting to try some new things, and it's not like the pressure of building a system. It's like, oh, I can like try this PA, or I can try this microphone, or I can try this capsule, or like Matt could try something different with lighting or whatever. It was just like it was stressed because it was like pushed a little bit, but it was a lot of fun in the end, just to kind of like put all the gear lists together and just go do it, and like kind of give people task to make it happen. So.
Yep. Orlando people shout out in the chat. I know Trisha's watching from Orlando. She appreciates your answer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw this one to Zach and Joe. Where is it? From Dylan. What's up, Dylan? How you doing? He says, what software do you use to help with keeping time between campuses? Also, what tools do you help volunteers and staff with cues and notes during service to know what's going on?
Well, first off, I'd like to thank Dylan for setting up a marketing pitch since he works for them. That's well played there.
Wow, Dylan.
Kind of rubs me the wrong way, to be honest.
You sneaky.
There's a lot of campuses to dump lifetime. Just because of that, hacking our stream to promote your product. I don't really play that. But yeah, since we're already there, we use lifetime. We'll see how much longer we use lifetime, because I just don't play that mess, to be honest with you. But yeah, it served us well. It allows all the campuses to look back to the Valentine clock and watch that. And we are using Script Viewer. I'm not sure how many locations are, but at least at Valentine, for Valentine and online, we sold out to it. It's super helpful to keep everybody on key and be able to have it up. Jared and Nicole have pretty much gone away from paper cue sheets. So yeah, Lifetime and Script Viewer.
That's great. Yeah, and we Matt Timmons is an awesome guy. He set us up really well with Lifetime and been super supportive. So yeah, I'll allow the plug. Good old Workflow Network, workflow.network. If you check them out, if you're watching from another church, their resources are super helpful. Matt, what is your let's see, where was it? What are some of your favorite fixtures?
Well, so I don't actually have a channel on this
Keelan
account.
wants to know what your favorite fixture is. You can do a few of them.
Yeah. So I'm not actually able to have a channel tied to this account, but VL 4K is not my favorite fixture.
Set the record straight.
Yeah, let's just put that out there. So I don't actually have like, oh, I have to have this fixture. So it's more, it really comes down to feature set. So whenever I'm looking at, a fixture, and I know we had the Ayrton line come in, and all of those fixtures were, my goodness, they were all great lights. And I've seen a lot of great lights, but it all comes down to feature set for me. So like when I'm looking at like a spot or a profile fixture, I'm looking for honestly the source. And in this day and age, LED is really the way to go, just cost of ownership. So I'm looking at source, I'm looking at brightness, how bright is that? I'm looking at zoom range, and I'm looking at color mixing. Gobo package and animation wheels and all that other stuff. Those are kind of just the cherry on top. So those are kind of the big four kind of features that I look at, and pick a company and they pretty much have a fixture that can do all of the things that kind of fit what I'm trying to accomplish when I'm choosing a light. With wash, that's with profiles and spots. With wash lights, it's really about, it's still that zoom range. I want a really big zoom range, and honestly, like pixel control. And just because you can get all kinds of cool looks, you can make that fixture do a lot of great like camera candy things, and it looks
Camera
honestly,
candy.
yeah, you want that. Well, I mean, especially now, everyone's watching through a lens.
True.
So, and the other thing too is, and it's kind of a feature that I'm really sad to see sort of die off, and it's that beam twister, man. I want to be able just to twist that beam.
Twist that beam.
Yeah. So, but those are, I don't really have a favorite fixture, like, oh, this is the one that I like, but those are the feature sets that I look for when I'm picking an instrument.
Nice. Joe's going in here, pre-answering some questions. That's good. Dan McLaughlin, I'm gonna throw this to you, Justin. Dan McLaughlin wants to know your most creative or in-depth Digico macro.
Oh man,
We need to get Jimmy Marsh on this call probably for that.
Yeah. Well, we're always trying new things, but like, I mean, for our broadcast location, biggest thing that we're doing there is we have a waves on and off macro, which kind of is a little irrelevant right now. But we do have a waves on and off. So that's changing a lot for us, which most people do that anyway. So that's not really a new one. I would say for our non-permanents, some of the, like our macro, because we use a SD9 for some of our campuses. So kind of our layout is we have a save session one, we have switch layers. So in case people don't know, there's on the SD9 on core 2, there's the hovering switch layer left and switch layer right buttons. And you can't actually take those off the screen unless you move it to a secondary screen. So what we actually did is we took I have a macro that I use on the keyboard, that's the F1 key, and it basically turns it on and off. It like takes it off the screen and essentially deletes it, but it still works because we have switch layer buttons that we can just hit really quick. So that's probably the most useful when we don't have a secondary screen at some of our portable locations or non-permanent locations. So that's probably the one I like the most.
Nice. We got a few questions about this, but just kind of throw it over to this quadrant here. But Joe, Chris, Justin Bayshore, what are some like practical ways? And Joe, I know you mentioned a few of them in the chat, but what are some practical ways that we are equipping our volunteers right now with training resources?
Yeah, so I know several of us have taken gear home to try to make some new or updated training videos. This Tech Tuesday thing is an attempt at just providing a resource of connection with our volunteers and our teams, but also put out some just helpful resources that I don't know if other people like this, but I know for me, production is like a need to be fulfilled in some capacity. It's not something I can go too long without doing. So I want to be able to utilize that. I know the guys at Valentine on the weekend put in the multi-viewer and streaming that is just another way for people to kind of get the feeling of being in video control and some of that kind of stuff. So, I mean, honestly, we just had a meeting this morning where we're coming out of the first couple of weeks of this and being like, all right, now we have a better sense of what this is going to look like for the next couple months, maybe. And so we can start to kind of dig in and say, like, all right, this is real. We're not going back to normal very soon. So what are some of the things that we can do? And just trying to think of every idea possible to train, to equip, to engage, to connect with our people. And, you know, we can flood a bunch of documents and training videos, but even something like this where we're just hanging out and kind of being fun is a helpful thing in a time like this.
Yeah. And of course we use Slack to stay connected as well. A lot of our production team is on Slack, and that's been super helpful for us to just be able to quickly communicate to them opportunities and changes. I know, Nat, you said something about keeping people updated with technical changes and stuff. We use Slack all the time. That's probably our best method to just stay current and connected with our teams. So yeah, Clinton asks, how are we distributing video throughout the building at our permanent campuses?
I've been an answer to that one.
Yeah.
So we have a video router at each of our locations, and SDI, BNC cable run throughout to each of our outputs, just to give us the flexibility to send different content. You can have a lobby TV show the worship experience on the weekend. You can use it for a leader night to route a CG to it. We like that kind of flexibility. We like to be able to use things for different purposes depending on, you know, what the event is and things like that.
Yeah. We got a couple more minutes. Any other quick questions, quick hits, lightning round? Jared says we should do a What's in My Pelican show and tell series. That's not a bad idea, actually. I've thought about that.
Here's a better one. What do you use that's in your Pelican? Because there's a lot of stuff that some people carry around.
Everything.
Oh, yeah. No, I actually, I haven't opened my Pelican in probably several months because I use my backpack. And then I realized I needed a TRS to 1/8 inch adapter for this little audio interface I have. And I realized my idiot self grabbed TS, not TRS. So I'll plug it in and only the right side works. And the left side of my ears is actually 2 of the drivers are blown. So those are nerd rants. Anyway. Now everybody's asking really loaded lightning round questions. Joel Willis, Joe, who's the ghost over your left shoulder?
Oh, it's just, that's my one wing one or something like that. So I get in arguments with myself, but then it's just so I have one that isn't as just does what I want, just as a
nice.
My way. It was that.
Anthony, do you guys use Living as One for your streaming? We do for some of it. We use it for our campus to campus feeds from Valentine. At the moment, we're not using it for any social media live streaming or internet live streaming. Let's see, Zach, I'll let you look through it. Now everybody's asking super technical loaded questions. 2 minutes left in the broadcast.
Jeremy's asking, Zach, is it all SDI at Valentine, or is there fiber, any muxing happening? 30-second answer.
Yes, for the 95% of everything is SDI. There is multi-mode and single mode fiber everywhere in the building. So if we need to go somewhere longer, multi-mode's there. If we need to drop something on the Digico network, and single mode is all SIMP fiber. So we can drop cameras anywhere in the building. Or if we need to do a longer run out in the parking lot, there is single mode at the entrance of the building so that we can drop FIDOs and do that. But as far as one of the questions, no, there's no muxing, no 2110. It's just straight up SDI over fiber or SIMP fiber or the OptiCore network.
Nice. Jonathan Rabena asks a great closing question. How well are you guys connected outside of work?
Chris, I mean, we all had a brisket at my house 3
I was about to say.
ago, so
as long as Kimry's smoking something on the Traeger, I feel like we're pretty well connected. So,
heck yeah.
Amen, brother.
Anyway, thank you guys for jumping in. It's 1 o'clock. We got to jump out. We got some more meetings to jump to this afternoon, but hey, thank you guys for joining us. Catch us next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, we're going to talk about We're going to dive into the tech topics, and we're going to talk about switcher keying. If you guys have ever wondered what those keyer buttons on your switcher do, specifically for Ross Carbonite. So if you're on our team, definitely want y'all to tune in. If you're at another church, check that out too. We'll be talking about some concepts that I think could be applicable to any switcher. So thank you guys for jumping in, and we will see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.